Appendix selected resources, get the most updated version of these resources and additional site links via your complimentary Get Good with Money toolkit at www.getgoodwithmoney.com. Chapter 1. Before we begin, get to know financial wholeness budgetnista boosters Cara Stevens, CEO and founder of The Frugal Feminista. www.thefrugalfeminista.com. Ash Cash Exantis, wealth coach and chief financial educator at Mindright Money Management. www.emashcash.com. Chapter 2. 10% Whole. Budget Building. Chapter 4. 30% Whole. Dig Out of Debt. Chapter 5. 40% Whole. Score High Credit, Budgetnista Booster Netava Hurd, Aka the Frugal Creditnista, founder of MNH Financial Services, financial educator, certified credit counselor, and licensed real estate broker. www.thefrugalcreditnista.com. Credit Bureau list the top 3 and their websites: Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Chapter 6. 50% Whole. Learn to earn, increase your income. Budgetnista booster Sandy Smith, personal finance expert and small business strategist. www.iamsandysmith.com. Chapter 7. 60% Whole. Invest like an insider. Retirement and wealth. Budgetnista boosters investing retirement. Kevin L. Matthews II, founder of Building Bread, financial planner and author. www.buildingbread.com. Investing wealth building. Courtney Richardson, founder of the Ivy Investor, attorney, former stockbroker and investment advisor. www.thievyinvestor.com. Chapter 8. 70% Whole. Get Good with Insurance. Budgetnista booster Anjali Jariwala, founder of Fit Advisors, certified public accountant CPA and certified financial planner CFP. www.fitadvisors.com. Chapter 9. 80% Whole. Grow Rich-ish, increase your net worth. Chapter 10. 90% Whole. Pick your money team, financial professionals. My so-called financial life template. Use this template to create your own and share it with potential certified financial planners before interviewing them. What I'm looking for. Example: I want to use my money to match my values and to fund a great life. I'd like to pay hourly or annually for advice on how to best do so. I want help creating a retirement plan and a plan to pay for college and to support my special needs child when I'm no longer here. Current financial situation: age, marital status, children, employment, home ownership, renting, cars, what's owed, debt, student loans, credit cards, balances, current status, current, behind, credit scores, retirement accounts, a pension, IRA. 401k. Roth, how much? Are there any loans withdrawn? What companies manage them? Individual stocks, how much do you have invested? What platform are you using? Other investments, real estate, other investment accounts, value, insurance. Do you have disability, pet, renters, life, health, term, whole life, etc.? How much? With which companies? Does your job offer health, disability, life insurance? How much? Does your spouse or child have insurance? How much? What is your and your family's cost to maintain a month? How much was your adjusted gross household income for last year? Check tax return. I currently have insert amount in savings. I would say I am fairly frugal. Spend too much? Moderate. Any business. List any gross business income from last year. What kind of business? LLC, S Corp, C Corp. Do you have a business partner? What percentage do you own? Current financial goals. Examples: I want to achieve financial wholeness within the next 10 years. Debt freedom, passively earning $75K to $100K per year. Dividends and real estate. Owning at least one apartment building of 8 to 20 units. Tax management plan, frequent travel, philanthropy, a comprehensive estate plan. A will trust. S healthcare directives, power of attorney, appointees, identified beneficiaries, insurances, life, disability, etc. Funeral final arrangement plan, business succession plan, document storage. I want a retirement account I can eventually manage myself. Target date fund, index funds. What should my allocations look like? I want to invest for wealth too. What does that look like? I want to protect my wealth. What types of insurances do I need? I want to invest in real estate. I need updated disability and life insurance. I need a long-term healthcare plan for when I'm older. I currently set aside funds for my daughter, nieces, and nephews in individual savings accounts. We'd like to be more strategic with those savings. I want to offer my employees benefits: retirement, health benefits, disability, maternity leave, vacation, etc. I want someone to work in conjunction with my CFO, an accountant, to ensure I have a tax plan that best suits my family and my businesses. I'd like. Here is the text with issues fixed. I want to keep money on hand to purchase real estate. I want to have an organized system so that I can easily access important documents and accounts. I would like to work with someone to create a strategic financial plan that we can monitor and adjust as our finances and life change. I'd like someone to review my current company benefits. Questions: do you do working meetings? Having me do a screen share where together we rebalance my asset allocations in my online brokerage account. What is your fee structure? Are you open to an hourly rate? What's your financial philosophy? Who is your ideal client, i.e., teachers, doctors, women, etc.? Concepts I'd like to learn more about: investing in stocks, the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, lowering my tax burden. Chapter 11, 100% whole, leave a legacy, estate planning. Tony Moore, attorney and business strategist with over 20 years of experience in business structuring, real estate, asset protection, and estate planning. www.moorelegalaw.com. Chapter 1. Before we begin, get to know financial wholeness. 7 years after starting my business, I was making more money a month than I used to make in a year teaching preschool. I had more than enough to live on and was able to dig myself out of my financial hole. I paid off the $35,000 in credit card debt accumulated from my run-in with Jack the Thief and the overpriced business course, and also paid off my $52,000 student loans. Once I was debt-free, I was able to save almost 70% of my income and pay cash for a car used, certified, and new to me. The house was a foreclosure, seriously discounted from what would have been the market price, but still a big-ticket item: $180,000. I was even able to pay off the remaining $120,000 on my parents' mortgage. By most people's standards, I was rolling in it. But despite doing so well, I was more scared than I ever had been when I was a teacher and making so much less. In fact, I'd never been scared about handling my money at all when I was a teacher. So why was I so obsessed with having zero debt and stashing money away just in case? The short answer is that losing everything during the Great Recession had been traumatic, and I was emotionally scarred. I was living in a state of financial fear. My own financial fears were obviously brought on by actual events, things that happened, and that I could have handled differently. So, I felt I had a rational reason to fear financial downfall, but really it was an irrational fear of them happening again. Many people, including my former self, understandably live in financial fear based solely on the possibility of financial disaster. If the global pandemic of 2020 has taught us all anything, it's that the unknown can have a profound impact on our finances and lives. And unpredictable do happen. Jobs and income and stability can disappear due to something simply in the air. But when you are financially whole in the way I'll teach you to be, you won't have to live in fear of all that. You'll have a plan for each area of your finances so that they are constantly working on your behalf, regardless of where you currently are in life. Financial wholeness has nothing to do with the tax bracket you're in. Anyone, regardless of their income level or employment status, whether you're making minimum wage or you're a millionaire, can and should actively work toward becoming financially whole. Its principles are relevant and applicable to all. Financial wholeness doesn't stabilize just one aspect of your financial life, but all aspects of your financial life. This is why it can help you manage and sometimes even thrive during financially traumatic times. The true freedom of financial wholeness: lots of financial advisors preach the power of financial freedom, or the idea that it's possible to have enough money to support your lifestyle without having to work anymore. Sounds good on paper, right? But my own experience shows loud and clear that this kind of freedom won't make you feel truly free. despite my post-recession comeback, I was more on track financially as a teacher than I was as a burgeoning business owner earning much more. Why? Because as a teacher, I had a savings strategy, a debt payoff plan in place, a good credit score, adequate insurance for where I was in life, and I knew where my assets would go if I died, my sisters. I had an automated retirement account to which I contributed the maximum allowed each year. I had an emergency savings account and even had multiple streams of income from teaching, babysitting, and tutoring. When I was financially free, I had a large cash reserve, but I hadn't achieved many other critical financial pillars I needed to feel secure. I had never adjusted my insurance to cover my new way of life. I didn't have a clear retirement plan that reflected my newfound standard of living, either. I didn't have an updated estate plan or a way to grow and sustain wealth versus just save money. And I still didn't have any place to go for professional financial advice. I was actually losing money because my fear kept me from investing in ways that could grow my wealth beyond my own earnings. Seriously, one financial planner I considered hiring laughed at me for having a ton of money in the bank and hardly any in my retirement account. I was not at all a millionaire as a teacher, but I was maximizing my income and I had a clear plan in motion for each area of my finances. To repeat, I felt more secure making $39,000 a year teaching preschool than I did as a business owner making more than $39,000 a month. Just goes to show that a strong foundation can be built with much less than you think. And that wealth is more than just money in the bank. The 10 steps of financial wholeness, even though I haven't taught in a classroom in many years, I still think in terms of lesson plans, and in this book it's no different. There are 10 lessons you need to learn, 10 areas of your finances that need to be working in sync for you to get to financial wholeness. When all 10 of these facets are in place, you'll have a strong financial foundation, and that means it would take a lot to knock you down. Financial wholeness is when all the aspects of your financial life are working together for your greatest good, your biggest benefit, and your richest life. We're going to take this a step at a time in the pages to come, but for now, here's the big picture. Here are the 10 steps. 1. Budget building. Learn how to create and automate automated transfers, bill pay, etc. A personal budget and open the necessary checking and savings accounts to support your budget. 2. Save like a squirrel. Calculate your savings goal number that's needed to meet at least 3 financial milestones you've set for yourself. Months of essential expenses for my household. Then calculate how much I need to save in each category of savings: emergency, goals, and investing. Learn how to prioritize and automate transfers to my savings accounts. 3. Dig out of debt. Get a clear picture of who and what I owe by writing down the components of my debt, i.e., amount owed, interest rate, due dates, etc. Then choose a debt repayment strategy and use my bank's online bill pay to automate my payoff plan. 4. Score high credit. Request my free FICO credit report and score to see where I stand. Make a list of the factors that are impacting my score and come up with a game plan to increase it to 740 or higher. 5. Learn to earn, increase my income. List all the ways I've contributed value at my job in the last few years to make a good argument for a raise. Uncover my side hustle potential by making a list of the tasks I do at work, my education, and current skill set. Develop an action plan that lists what I'll do next to increase my income. 6. Invest like an insider, retirement, and wealth. Identify my retirement and wealth goals. Create and implement my investment plans with the help of my human resources representative, a certified financial planner, online tools, or by myself. Commit to consistent contributions toward investing, to learn to leave it alone, and to give it opportunity to grow. 7. Get good with insurance. Make sure I have proper insurance coverage. That means understanding and calculating my needs around health, life, disability, property, and casualty, e.g., home and auto. 8. Grow rich-ish. Increase my net worth. Learn how to calculate my net worth, owning more than I owe, and how to achieve, increase, and maintain a positive net worth. Create a net worth goal and define actions I'm going to take each month to achieve my goal. 9. Pick my money team, financial professionals. Find reliable and trustworthy financial professionals, i.e., certified financial planner, insurance broker, estate planning attorney, etc. Public accountant and identify accountability partners. 10. Leave a legacy estate planning. Create and implement a plan for what will happen to your estate, including cash, real estate, jewelry, and other assets, after you pass away. This is crucial regardless of the size of your bank account and portfolio, which may include investments, homes, stocks, bonds, etc. Now, doesn't that all sound easy? Maybe you're thinking it seems like a lot. But what if I told you these steps have been designed specifically to help you create the financial life you want? The first 5 steps cover the fundamentals, aiming to establish financial stability. Think of these steps as your foundation. The key is to get to a point where budgeting, saving, debt, credit, and earning become second nature, allowing you to focus most of your energy on the next 5 steps. Steps 6 through 10 focus on growing and protecting your wealth, presented in order to demonstrate how to invest, align your insurance, grow your net worth, seek professional help, and protect your legacy. Do you realize that you've just been handed a roadmap that will lead you to the kind of financial life that will build and support your bright future? It's all here, complete with detailed directions. I will guide you through the entire process, and we'll work together to achieve financial wholeness. Let's get started. Before we begin working through the steps, I want to emphasize the importance of being mindful of your mindset around money. Taking a moment to reflect on your current attitude towards money is crucial. The following 5 exercises can help you unpack your thoughts and attitudes toward money, their origins, and how they impact your financial decisions. Please note that I made the following changes. Removed hyphenated word breaks across lines. Joined mid-sentence hard line breaks into one line. Removed stray page numbers, running headers, or footers embedded in body text. Fixed encoding artifacts, ligature junk, phi, fl, etc., and replacement characters. Normalized for speech. Currency, percentages, common abbreviations, figure and section references, ordinals, URLs, and mathematical symbols. Becoming a paper towel person, I was a clumsy child growing up, and not a day went by that I didn't trip, break, or slip on something. My go-to move was spilling typically something that stained on the floor carpet or furniture. If it happened in front of my father, he would fuss a little, reminding me to be careful, while also sharing the financial cost of my clumsiness in relation to our family's bills. If it happened in front of my mother, she would silently get a paper towel and hand it to me. Have you ever made a mistake instead of immediately fixing the problem you launch into a tirade? How could I have done this? I'm so upset. This is such and such's fault. We've all been there. And honestly, I'm way more like my father when it comes to my initial reaction to my mistakes. But what I've learned from my mama, thanks mommy, is not to dwell on the mistake, but to quickly find the solution instead. Because do you know what happened after my father finished fussing? He would eventually hand me a paper towel. Keep this lesson in mind as you use this book to work toward financial wholeness. There's no reason to beat yourself up over spilled milk or dark staining juice. Just wipe it up and move on. Focus on the solution. Be a paper towel person. 1. Recognize your money influences and patterns and identify their consequences. So much of our mindset toward money, what constitutes appropriate spending, or saving for instance, isn't solely our own. Instead, it often comes from our past in direct and subtle ways. When it comes to direct imprinting, a lot of people take their childhood messaging to heart. If your parents suffered hard financial times and were. Here is the cleaned and normalized text. It's vocal about it. You might not hold tight to your money out of a fear of the same fate. Sometimes what we learn encourages us to do the opposite of what we witnessed. So if your parents oversaved and skimped on your school clothes, even when you knew they had money, you might be an overspender out of spite, without even realizing it. Or if they were overspenders in a way that embarrassed you, you might now be really, really frugal to kind of make a statement. Families aren't the only place we get messages about money. Society also influences our financial mindset. From an early age, we are bombarded with messages about what matters. Advertisements do this blatantly, right? They try to make us feel something in relation to the thing being sold. Whether we're aware of it or not, we internalize those advertising messages about status and power and happiness, which sometimes changes our behavior in unhappy ways. For example, new shoes might make you walk tall and feel confident, but the credit card bill is gonna hurt. There are also more subtle ways we digest messages we hear and see in pop culture, messages about respect, love, influence, and connection. Specifically, that having money leads to all these things. Think, for instance, about the way female friendships are often depicted on TV or in movies, and you'll notice when the going gets tough, girlfriends go shopping. I'm not saying that shopping together isn't a way to stay connected, but it's also a way to stay connected to your credit card bill. I'm saying is that a lot of forces can combine to form your money habits and patterns, which have consequences. If you have bad habits, the consequences can be extreme. You can ruin relationships, lose your prized possessions, and even struggle to put food on the table. The consequences can also be less obvious. If your habits lead to a really low credit score, for instance, you could lose job opportunities. Here is the list of changes made. Added spaces between sentences where they were missing. Joined mid-sentence hard line breaks into one line. Removed page numbers, running headers and footers. Fixed encoding artifacts, ligatures, replacement characters. Normalized currency, $1,200 right arrow, $1,200. Percentages, 50%, 50%. Changed figure and section references, Fig. 3 right arrow, figure 3, Sec 2.1 right arrow, section 2.1. Normalized ordinals, first right arrow first, second right arrow second, third right arrow third. Normalized URLs, bitcoin.org, bitcoin.org. Removed mathematical symbols when readable. Kept paragraph breaks, technical terms, proper nouns, acronyms, and direct quotes intact. Some